So a lot of the times I order so many games, I honestly don't remember what exactly I ordered. I'm part of some special retro Facebook gaming groups where sellers will auction off games kind of like eBay, but it is within a private group. It is open to the public, so anybody can technically join. However, that being said, um, the way it works is you basically continue to purchase product over a period of time and throw it all into a box so that you save money on shipping. So I may start ordering games today from a particular seller, but I won't get my shipment until about 12 months later. And that's why I get these giant boxes full of stuff that I don't remember what's in it. Right off the bat, I can see Kingsfield, the Ancient City for the PS2. I suspect it's missing the manual. Yes, I am. I am correct. So the reason I get most of my games through these private groups is because you can get some insane deals. So the reason I would have bought that with no manual is because I know it would have been a steal of a deal. Next batch, I can see a large group of... This is either Dreamcast or PlayStation 1. PlayStation 1 games. First up, Tenka Codename. This is a game that is gaining value. It is a little bit rare, and it's not that bad of a game either. I would dare to call it a hidden gem. Next up, Running Wild. I haven't played this in forever, so I honestly don't even remember too much about it. This was a rental as a young buck back in the day. It is 4-player. It's basically a racing game where you play as animals and you run. So there are no carts, no cars. Yes, I see, and there are power-ups like Mario Kart. Power-ups include the ability to grow big, fly, pass through objects, and turn other players' worlds to mud. Okay. Ooh, Gaikido, I believe is how you say this. This is a 2-player game, but it is actually up to 4 players if you get the multi-tap. And if I remember correctly, ooh, yeah, so it even says this was advertised as a 4-player fighter, which was rare at the time. Not many people even had the multi-tap, so it was a relatively new thing, and I see they tried to market that as such. This is a rare fighting game that is actually very underrated, and its price is going up. So all of these, pretty much everything I buy doubles as an investment just because the prices have been going up at an astronomical rate since about 2009, 2010. It features music from Fatboy Slim. Next up, a sealed Monster Rancher Hopabout. The seal is in piss poor condition, so had I known that, I would have not bought it. Perhaps. That's a puzzle game. It was not originally a Monster Rancher game. They threw the Monster Rancher franchise on it. Here's Parasite Eve, number 2. Disc fell out. That's not good. Other than that, good condition. Risk, game of global domination, one of the best 2-player games of all time, can also be played 4-player. It's not just the dice rolling version of Risk. This is a version of Risk where you actually have troops fight, and there's strategy involved. There's generals that you can purchase that give you new tactics. You have to choose what tactic you're using for each battle. It's very complicated. There can be natural disasters that can wipe out your troops or wipe out your enemy's troops. There's so many different factors involved. There's forts. There's so many different ways to play. Very underrated. Next up we have N64 wrestling games. I remember these. WrestleMania 2000, ECW, Hardcore ECW Revolution, No Mercy. This game is arguably the best wrestling game ever made. Its value has been skyrocketing in the last 12 to 24 months. WCW Mayhem. Never played it. Now this one I do have about 5 copies of. Very common game, but one of the best wrestling games on the N64 and of all time. WCW NWO Revenge. Next up, PlayStation 2. Taito Legends 2 has Dungeon Magic on it, which is one of my favorite games. The rest of the games, let's see what else it has that I recognize. Obviously, Growl. I wonder if that's the same as the Sega Genesis version, which I guess was based on an arcade game. Dragon Quest VIII. I've heard it's one of the best Dragon Quest games ever made. Playable demo of a Final Fantasy 12 inside, I believe. Yep. Now we're on to Top Gear 2. Super Nintendo, I don't have that one. Game Genie for Sega Genesis. The reason I bought this is because I actually need it to beat a lot of those hard as balls Sega Genesis games. Now we're into the complete in-box Sega Genesis games. I got Virtual Bart. I paid a lot of money for this in comparison to, it wasn't exactly a super steal of a deal because it is getting very hard to find. And it came with the poster and registration card. There's even a Road Rash ripoff in this game. Gods. This is a side-scrolling action game. Underrated. It's not worth much. I don't know why it's not worth more than it is. Green Dog. The Beached Surfer Dude. I borrowed this game from my friend way back in the day. And back then it was hard, man. Like, I don't think I was very good at it though, because looking back at it now and seeing other people play it and hearing other reviews and comments on it, it's actually mediocre. So it's not known for being overly difficult. It is beatable, whereas most games back then were unbeatable to the average person. This one could actually be beaten with practice. And it's not a hidden gem. It's not really good. It's just mediocre in all aspects. Last game, Spider-Man. Sega Genesis. The original Spider-Man. And it has an instruction manual. It's so old. It came out in 1991. It's so old that the instruction manual looks like an NES manual. They hadn't perfected how they were supposed to do the manuals. This must have been, this might have even been a launch title for all I know. Because I know it's old. No, it wouldn't have been a launch title. but it was definitely one of the very early releases based on the manual alone. So there you have it. I will be adding all of these games to my collection. I've really been ramping up recently my N64 purchases and my PS2 and my GameCube purchases and Dreamcast. I've really been focusing on those consoles lately. I'm cutting back on the Genesis and the Super Nintendo and the NES because I already have most of what I need. I've already got it. I'm not going for full sets. There was a time when I was going for a full NES set and a full Super Nintendo set and a full Sega Genesis set, but I got spaced out. I don't have the storage for it, and there's other games that I want, so it's also a financial thing. And more importantly, I've had to recently weigh which games do I think I should buy today because the value is going to double, triple, quadruple tomorrow. So I'm focusing on those, whereas the NES and the Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis have mostly plateaued in price, so they don't make the best investments comparison to GameCube games 6 months ago even, right? I got GameCube games down here, Need for Speed Underground 2, for example. Def Jam Fight for New York, for example. Had you bought this 5 years ago, you'd be rolling in money right now. Imagine if you bought 10 copies back when it was selling for 20 bucks. So there you have it. There's my update on my collection. Please let me know what you think in the comments below, and what systems and games are you collecting for?